I'm still hanging out with Bob, Erica, and Steve from the new Biggest Loser. All right, guys, since we have you all here, I thought it would be fun to play a classic reality check game called Teeing Off.
Interesting. Here we go.
I'm so nervous. Oh my God.
Don't be nervous. Don't be nervous. You have to lose 40 pounds right now in 5 minutes.
In between these two makes me really nervous.
I know. I'm scared even just watching this. But
I'm like, can we just let them battle it out?
Guys, there's tons of fad diets, fitness trends out there, as you guys know. I want to get your expert opinions about these debatable diets and topics. Are you ready to play?
Yep.
Let's go for it.
All right, first up, the keto diet. Erica, why don't you start and make the case for or against the keto diet?
I am not necessarily for or against it. It's just not my preference. And the reason being is because I am an active weightlifter. I like to use those carbs for energy. And honestly, I can't say no to carbs for the rest of my life. Like, I need to have a donut. I love me some Tito's. So my preference is no.
You guys?
I don't subscribe to it either. But I think it's one of those things that if you don't work out, I look at carbohydrates kind of like NOS for like to go fast in your car. If you want to go fast quickly, carbohydrates are great.
What's NOS?
Like, you know, nitric oxide and like Fast and the Furious.
It's a different generation.
Yeah.
I was like, don't you just need fuel?
No, like,
Don't you need gasoline?
Yeah,
He's
like
very confused.
that tank that they have in Fast and the Furious that blows up, that's nitric oxide. Like, that's the
Furious.
The bottom line when it comes to keto is this. If you find a diet that works for you and that your doctor agrees with, then I'm all for it.
Yeah.
If you can live on high protein, high fat, no carbs, no alcohol for the rest of your life, great. But I'll tell you this, if you pick a keto diet and think that you can go and you've lost all this weight, if you start incorporating those carbs back, it's going to be really hard for you to keep that weight off. You're going to gain it back. So be very careful of the fad diets that you choose.
Mama needs her alcohol. And what about the big craze, intermittent fasting? Bob, what's your take on this?
Huge fan of it. I love it. Okay. Yeah, I'm a big intermittent fasting. You know, I come from the world where it used to be like, breakfast is the most important meal of the day. My thinking is, if you're not hungry, don't eat. And so you have this window allotted, preferably around 8 to 10 hours of eating. But the key to intermittent fasting is don't think that you can eat whatever you want in that period of eating, because again, calories in, calories out. I know a lot of people that go, I'm not losing any weight, I'm doing IF, but they're like eating way too much. You've still got to be sensible. Go back to eating whole and real foods.
So it matters what you're eating if fasting is fine.
Because I think a lot of times it's that little catchphrase. You know, everyone loves a catchphrase in this business. And like with intermittent fasting, it's like, I don't eat at this time, but then I eat whatever I want. That's such a slippery slope for people, because like working with overweight people, when you tell them I can eat whatever I want, you know, they're going to be like, I'm going to eat whatever I want. And like, I need there to be still guidelines and how important those guidelines are.
For sure.
What about low intensity, steady state cardio versus high intensity interval training? Steve, take this one for me.
So this one, you know, I think both can be incorporated. High intensity interval training.
Pick one, Steve.
If I'm only doing one type of cardio during the week, I'm picking high intensity stuff.
There you go.
The difference is it's going to be more like a weight training session, meaning it's going to be a little bit more taxing on your central nervous system. So you need to treat it like you would an intense weight session. You know, it's going to be very demanding in terms of muscle, oxygen, carbohydrates, all of those things. Sometimes it's great to walk on that treadmill for 30 minutes and get that lymphatic system going.
And you did a good job. I like it.
So you wouldn't recommend maybe doing keto and high intensity training because you need the carbs, as you were saying.
You need that NOS. What is it?
You need that NOS.
NOS.
Well, what do you guys think about that detox tea that get a lot of celebrity endorsements on Instagram?
Yeah.
Tell me about
I'm
that.
out.
I think we can all agree. Again,
Quick fix.
Yeah.
Not even a real, like,
It's
you know,
just tea.
Yeah.
It's just herbals in general. I mean, it's just, you're
if
putting a
anything,
label on
it's gonna make you pee a little bit more.
and poop a little bit more.
nothing wrong with that.
No.
But it's
a little
not,
more.
it's not
But not as a weight loss alternative.
Yeah.
Like, you know, we're not saying, hey, you know, eat whatever you want to do this.
I want to find a way that I can look good, feel good, and still be able to chew something and have a glass of wine.
Yeah.
Amen, Bob. Amen. All right, what about the cult craze CrossFit? Because originally when it came out, I feel like everyone was doing it. It was the coolest thing ever.
Yeah.
And then it got bad reviews from people saying it wasn't healthy for you.
I love CrossFit. I know Greg Glassman, Dave Castro, the creators of CrossFit. I think they did something that is revolutionary. I'm a big fan of CrossFit.
For me, as long as now the things I like about CrossFit are all the things kind of Bob likes about it. It's great. The community's great, as long as the programming's there.
Yes.
Somebody can go out and get a CrossFit certification
Yeah.
in a weekend and open up a gym and start programming. And that's where, if you have somebody that knows what they're doing, it's going to be great. So obviously, the people higher up at CrossFit that know what they're doing, I love that aspect of it. And it's here to stay. Like
Yeah.
it is really. I think you look at F45, Orange Theory, all of these other ones. That really started with
From
CrossFit.
CrossFit, yeah.
Can any body type do CrossFit?
Yes.
Absolutely.
Eric could do it, Steve could do it, Bob could do it. It doesn't matter.
I remember back in the day on Loser, I can't remember what season when I first started doing CrossFit, I brought in all the CrossFit athletes, the major guys, the Rich Fronings of the world, and we all worked with my team. So it was like being able to show that CrossFit is about every single level and being able to modify anything. And that's what you want to be able to do in the workouts.
Yeah.
Right.
Bottom line is find a workout that you enjoy doing. Find something that inspires you, and I'm all for it.
Yeah.
That you
Even
can get
if
a
it's
sweat.
hot yoga.
Right.
I'm a big.
Oh, you and hot yoga. See how excited he got?
Yeah, I
Look
know.
at
But I
that
can't even. That's too much for me. I can't even.
Hot yoga, I'm
It made me hurt.
obsessed with it. I do it 5-6 days a week. I sweat my
Don't
butt
even-
off.
Yeah, there we go. What about calorie counting? And maybe you could talk about it because you lost, a dramatic amount of weight in
Yeah.
13 months. As you said, less calories in, more calories out. What do you think about calories?
I mean, I think it's a great starting point for people. I mean, there's so many different methods out there to lose weight. For me, I needed simple and easy, so I downloaded an app that let me track my calories. But it's also a good awareness because when you think you're eating healthy and then you really start plugging in everything, like your almond milk and your creamers and your sugars and all that stuff adds up, and people don't think of all the little things. So I liked it as a starting point. It was
Damn,
great for me.
half and half in a
But aren't you?
cup of coffee.
But you still watch your calories.
Yeah, I still watch
The
them
nice
for-
thing though is,
It's more for me now because I've grown so much and I've learned so much. It's more of like I kind of know what foods are more calorically dense and what's and macros and things like that. But I still watch them. Like I'm getting married in 4 months. I'm like, girl, I got a dress I got to fit in. So for me, I got to be a little bit more careful.
I look at all my calories.
Yeah, you
I mean,
would-
I think especially your metabolism changes
Yes.
when you grow older too. And like I'm in my 50s now, so it's like I can't eat or work out the way that I used to in my 20s and 30s. Just doesn't work like that
Right.
anymore.
But it's also about the calories you're putting into your
Right.
body,
And-
right? Like having 2,000
can't
calories
have-
with a Snickers
Right.
is not
Not the
good.
same.
it's not going to make you
Right.
feel the same way as eating whole foods. I think everyone, and this is just my personal opinion, should have to learn how to read a label, a food label, know what difference between protein, carbs, and fat are, and then also figure out, count for a while, learn how to weigh out some food. You don't have to do that for forever, but log for a month. Even because it gets time consuming. I was a guy that for 3 years knew every single day the calories I was putting in my body. It gets exhausting to do that, but afterwards I can look at something and say, okay, that's 5 ounces of chicken. I know basically
and-
what I'm eating.
And the bottom line is this: weight loss, if you're trying to lose weight, it's not easy. Quit looking for an easy fix. It's not going to happen. People are like always wanting that, tell me the easiest way, the best way to do it. I'm like, no, it's not. Calories in. You've got to measure your food. You've got to know what a real portion size looks like. Is it a pain in the ass? Yeah.
It's a constant
it is.
battle.
But but you have to think about it.
And what do you guys make of those low-cal, like pre-made cocktails, like White Claw and stuff? Like, are you guys drinkers at all? Like,
I'm a drinker, but I like all I go all natural. I mean, it's like I'm gonna have like tequila or I'm gonna have
right.
wine. I try to stay away from processed stuff as much as possible in any way, shape, or form.
Single ingredient foods, clean alcohols like that. Yes.
Although I have had one of those White Claws.
How are they?
Didn't hate it. I didn't hate it. I thought it was kind of good.
but like vodka soda is fine.
Vodka soda, splash of cranberry.
Yeah.
Or
I like my tequila on the rocks.
Oh, okay, we're going big
I let
there.
these two.
or Tito's and Diet Coke.
You're not a drinker?
Not really.
He hates,
I like
he
red
hates
wine.
my Tito's and Diet Coke thing. I don't know. It's my
Well,
vice.
let's ask you.
I want my Tito soda.
No. That's
Diet Coke.
Not a Diet Coke.
See, you gotta try it.
No,
Don't knock it till you
Wait,
try it, girl.
wait.
That's a rum and Coke. You got to have rum.
No,
with
don't
it.
knock it till you try it.
I'm professional.
Tito's and Diet Coke.
He won't even let me have that in his house. He's like,
I
it's
love
just
it.
Coming to my house tonight, I'm like this. Nope.
Do you guys incorporate everything we talked about on the show? CrossFit techniques, high intensity. Do you teach the contestants about knowing the difference between proteins, fats, and carbohydrates and weighing? So it's an educational lesson too.
Yeah, and I love that we we really hone in on those pieces and take away pieces, even for the viewers at home, to be like, oh, I remember what Steve said, or I remember what Bob said, and we touch on each one of those subjects. And we want them to walk away with those tools because they're not in their Biggest Loser bubble forever. We got to teach them while they're there.
And this might be a generalization, but for a lot of people, especially in your 30s, if they quit drinking, you can drop a lot of weight, right? I mean,
That's
isn't that
true.
kind of
Depends on what they're drinking and how often.
But
But
yeah,
yeah.
it's the same when I was working with people that weighed 400 plus pounds, just getting them off of those sugary soda
Sodas,
drinks,
yeah.
you just start losing weight.
Yeah.
Just do that.
Sometimes it's just eliminating one thing
Yeah.
to change your whole life. Well, Bob, Erica, Steve, thank you so much for chatting with me
Thanks.
today. It was amazing. I learned a lot. The Biggest Loser premieres tonight at 9, 8 Central on USA Network. You're not going to want to miss it.